Welcome to the Scoundrel Shard, episode 11. In this game, I want to focus on planning, both the importance of having an effective game plan that overarches your play, and on being able to change the specifics as you go to adjust to the situation. Let's get into the game. We're playing versus a red deck, which I believe is one of the top two decks in the meta. Red and blue are the two strongest champions, it seems, in tournament play right now. Green is followed in Tier 2 very closely. I don't feel like this is an unwinnable game by any stretch of the imagination just off the matchup. I also don't think that I'm playing with possibly the most optimized version of this deck. I don't have dancers, I don't have a lot of the movement cards, focusing instead on heavy removal and heavy focus on getting seedlings out and getting an advantage from that. So the Cultivator early allows us to get the Stone called Sealing. I love Cultivators on turn 1. I think it's a super effective play. We have the Tempest Hound to really give us a tempo advantage going into turn 2 because we can take out the 1-3 for free, but I also feel like this is where we make one of our early mistakes. So the Tempest Hound here into taking out the 1-3, and then what do we do with it? We have a couple of options. We know we want to play aggressive, and so running forward here is obviously the best play, and we do that. But then, instead of like moving the Tempest Hound up here so that we can easily react to whatever direction Petra runs, we pull it back behind the Cultivator, trying to save like 1 damage off of it. Not the most effective decision. Like, even if Petra pings the Tempest Hound and then plays a 3-3, that's fine. We just trade our 3-2 Tempest Hound into the 3-3 and smile about it. Or if she doesn't play anything, we hit her for 3 and we make her ping it again. There's no reason not to be more aggressive with the Tempest Hound here. And this is really mistake number 1. If we had been up in here, then when this efficiency expert comes down, it would have been an easy trade to take out the efficiency expert and push forward in, especially if Petra had pinged on the Tempo Hound. We could have had a 2-2 up in the base that she wouldn't have been able to do anything about, and had really good position to try and manage the creatures coming down. Instead, now we're in this awkward position where we're like, well, maybe we pull back and start building up an army with the seedlings, which I still don't feel is the correct play. If we had run forward at this point, yes, Petra could have maybe run this way to avoid, but then we would have been able to move Stonehounds up this way. There were options that we could have played aggressively up in here, and the more that Petra runs this way, the more she limits herself from the closeness of her minions. If we had gone completely aggressive that turn, we would have been able to walk up and remove the Armory Gunner with Stone Prison and our draw 2 cards, destroy Boulder spell, no problem. Instead, now we're in this really awkward spot where we're like, okay, let's move the Angry Stone out of the way. Let's hide behind these rocks so that we can try and keep the Armory Gunner from getting anything, hoping that he has to move up in order to get a shot off. But we don't control which stone the Stone called Seedling is going to pop up on. Yes, we've got a 2/3 chance that it'll pop up on our side. Unfortunately, that doesn't really help us. I think in that tap, I was really hoping for Windstep so that I could maybe Windstep something up and take out the Armory Gunner, or at least be prepared to. Again, that does not happen. The Angry Stone pops in the wrong spot, so he gets a free shot on the Angry Stone to buff up his army, and that hurts, especially when they've got 5 cards in hand. If, depending on how many of those are minions, that is a huge blow. 2 health on 5 minions is just an insane amount of advantage. He does have to walk the Armory Gunner forward, and we do have the Grove Guard in hand, which combined with the Tempest Hound means that we can finally take out the Efficiency Expert, and we can take out the Armory Gunner this turn, which is excellent, because otherwise we would be in really bad shape. But now we've got a 4-6 Raptor Reeve Wing in the back line, and that makes it very difficult for us to react. We aren't at 6 mana, so we can't do any fancy Stone Prison / something else plays, but we don't have the other half of the Stone Prison anyway. We've got a Petrify, but we can't play it this turn. This puts my position, this calls to mind a choice that I think is probably the biggest mistake that I make this game. So, because we're nice and spread out here, the Raptor Reeve Wing would only have a couple plays. He could come down here and attack into the Grove Guard, which wouldn't kill the Grove Guard, but would do 2 damage to us. That's fine. We would just punch it off the face of the earth next turn. He could come down and attack the Stonecall Seedling. If he does that, then we can just move down and destroy it. If we had played the Grove Guard here, which would have been the better play, Petra couldn't even ping it off the board. We would have been fine. Instead, I'm so freaked out about this that I play the Stone Prison just to keep it from attacking from a turn with the idea that I'm going to follow it up with the Petrify next turn. This is a horrible play because it's sinking 2 removal spells into a 4/6 character that I can easily kill off with what I have on the board. Additionally, Petrify takes up an entire turn. You only want to do that when you are removing something that is hugely threatening on the board. So now, yes, our board position looks really solid at this point, but we are really we are spending resources poorly. And red deck is now getting to the point where it is being able to drop larger and larger minions. We are facing the Valiant class mech, and this should have been the point where I realize, okay, my plan has to change. I can just play the Petrify on the Valiant class mech because they didn't play it with Shroud. The 8/9 is a much bigger threat, and if I hadn't played the Stone Prison at all, I would have had the Rock Crusher this turn that I could have done removal plays 2 turns in a row. It's really unfortunate that I made that choice. It puts us completely behind on the board from here on out. And I'm actually not going to finish the rest of the game. It becomes a long slog towards an inevitable defeat because they have much higher quality minions, and I am not able to effectively use my Stonecall Seedlings. Eventually, they are able to just push down through here and win the game. So the things that I want to take from this game are, number 1, if your deck has to be aggressive, be aggressive. Early on, if I had come up through here, I would have been in better board position and wouldn't even been in the point where I had to make the weird choice with the Stone Prison. Second, if the situation changes, don't be so committed to my plan that I miss an obviously better play, which is Petrify on the Valiant class was the obviously better play. Thanks for watching the Scoundrel Shard. I hope you have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.